Welcome back to Apex Alchemy. I'll do a pocket check. I got my BK18, my book, Sprint Pro Classic. The last day of that book, Sprint Pro Classic, that I have to carry that. If you've been around the channel for a little while, you know I got a bet with my wife. I had to carry it for 6 months. That will be March the 12th. And tomorrow I officially go on vacation. I got a meeting I gotta attend, and after that, I'm done with that knife. We'll figure the rest of it out. I want to talk to you about something. Excuse me. I just got home from work. I had a package, a couple packages. They couldn't fit it all in one package, I don't guess, but it's something that's been on my mind here lately, and you know, it's a rabbit hole that I wish I wouldn't have went down, but I did. If you've been here for a little while and you happen to see our video about how American are your American-made knives, we got into the topic about how you know, all the elements and stuff that make up super steels, they all come out of the ground. And most of them don't come out of the ground here. And most of them that come out of the ground are controversial as all get out. So in my, we'll do some unboxings of some of this stuff. You don't need to see this one. You know all about it. That's yours if you're a Patreon. I mean, that's one of y'all's. We won't unbox that. That's brand new. It's code 4. I was kind of excited about checking out S35VN. VN means got vanadium in it, which is a controversial element. It means it's dug up out of the ground by slave labor. Most of those slaves are children. Cobalt's another one. And, you know, there's nothing we can do to change that in America. We can't. This Ontario rat number 2, by the way. Wife said she wanted it. She got it. SRK. Alan let us borrow his SRK. She liked it. We got her one exactly like it. Probably won't be a video on that either. Just something she wanted. We gotta put something up there just so y'all can have something to look at. How about these all grill knives? You know, the point of this is, you know, I come home earlier this week and I had a package. The beginning of the week, I had a package in the middle of the week. We got the custom knife. We got the off-grid knives. Got Amazon today. Got Amazon tomorrow. And all of its knives. Coming to a self-realization. A lot of this stuff I'm buying because of the channel, you know, because one, we gotta have content. Two, I want to get some opinions about some stuff I don't know anything about, you know. So I'm not ashamed of buying stuff from ethical countries and stuff like that. I'm not ashamed of, you know, I got some Chinese knives I love. We've been over all that. But the thing is, what's getting at me right now, man, what's really pulling on my heartstrings is the child abuse that goes into some of the super steels, you know. And there's, if you don't know anything about me personally, you know, I'll just say that I'm the last person in the world you got to worry about abusing a child. I don't like it. It pisses me off. Cost me a job one time at the police department. You know, I didn't have the job yet, but they asked me what I would do if I was to walk into a crime scene. I was the only officer there. The perpetrator was there, and there was a 4-year-old female rape victim. And asked me what I'd do. I told him I'd beat the ever-loving shit out of that dude. I said, Mr. Ford, that would probably land you in prison. Are you sure you don't want to rethink the situation and change your answer? I stood up and I thanked him for the opportunity for the interview. It's been over a decade ago. But I would not like to change my answer because it's exactly what I do, and I'd rot my ass in prison without any remorse. What's this got to do with knife collecting? Nothing on the forefront. Nothing on the forefront. And if you've got 2 or 3 knives, I'm not talking to you. I'm not here to preach at any of you. This is really just a self-realization. This steel up here, phenomenal. S45VN. Let's not say phenomenal, but I've had it in my pocket for 6 months. I can attest to you that it gets used on the daily basis, Monday through Friday at least. Sometimes on the weekend, but not much. Most of the time on the weekend, I take the opportunity to use something else. But a lot of times I'm carrying stuff, and the bucks it just makes more sense to pull it out of my pocket. Let me get this gum out of my mouth. I am sorry. Listen, I've only had to touch that blade up once, man. And it's not. I don't think it would cut paper right now. We'll check on that later. We'll do a video on that probably Sunday or Monday or something like that. That'll be the end of this bet. It'll be a good opportunity to check its performance out. But with it having VN at the end of the steel, I do know that there was a certain amount of child slave labor involved, and it wasn't really until I saw the video of this young lady. She couldn't have been no more than 14 years old, and she was digging cobalt out of the ground in the Congo, and she got excited about something she pulled out of the ground. I guess it's you ain't supposed to be excited about it, but the young lady had a baby secured to her back in some sort of mechanism. I'm not going to pretend to understand, the cultures and how they, but it was kind of like it was upright, like back there. The baby was back to back with the mother. I assume the mother was and she turned around and showed a guard what she pulled out of the ground, and the video was not high definition enough for me to be able to tell what she was excited about. The guy hit her in the side of the head with the butt of AK-47, and the girl collapsed onto the baby. Then he proceeded to jump down into the ditch and kicked her until she got back up and started working again. And she didn't have a chance to check on her baby. She just had to go back to work. When it comes to cobalt, 90% of the cobalt that comes out of the ground is going to electric cars. That's no secret. A good 10% of the cobalt is, it's more than that, it's like 12%. It goes into cell phone batteries. If you got a battery that'll charge in 35 minutes from 0 to 100, it's got a cobalt battery in it. Cobalt, what it does is it allows in charging, it don't get as hot as lithium. So if you plug up one of these 35-watt chargers to a lithium battery, from even if it's a Type C, say it's a Type C, and you got comparing Samsung to Samsung, you go back to a S19 or S20 or something like that, and you plug it up, it will charge it. But if you leave it on there too long, it could burn your house down, because the lithium's going to get way hotter than the cobalt. And so cobalt is extremely important when it comes to super duper steels. And not just super steels, but super duper steels. And it's not found in a lot of steels, but it is found in some. Just a couple of examples. S110V is 11% cobalt. That's why it's called 110. It's 11% cobalt. And S125V is 12.5% cobalt, I believe. And I don't have the data right here in front of me. I'm just going by memory. Rex 76, Maximate, possibly MagnaCut, even some of your steels 9CR, 18COMOV has a percentage of cobalt in it. From this day forward, what I'll do personally is I'm going to make a conscious effort in my steel selections. Unfortunately, America we can't even supply our own iron. Like we supply about 17% of our own demand of iron. The other 83% comes from China, the Ukraine, Russia. And there are some ethical countries out there, or ethical places out there that mine. I really want to look at that code for that mine cobalt, and I mean even the USA is opening up. Let's look at the code for. It keeps on staring at me, but even the USA, we got a cobalt mine in Ohio that's opening up. And it's got one sole purpose, and that's to produce 18 metric tons of cobalt per year for the sole purpose of an extra pocket clip. The sole purpose of car batteries, the production of electric car batteries. And it's only going to get worse. I'm glad to see that America's taken strides for production of cobalt. That's great, but the thing is like molybdenum, or however you say that. It's molybdenum. I used to say molybdenum, or something like that. I can't. And I'd heard somebody say it like that once. I don't know what most of us call it moly-B. Vanadium, chromium. They're all conflict minerals or conflict elements. There's the majority of the elements that are used or are dug up by slave labor to keep the price down. Most of the countries that it's dug up in, they don't have laws to protect people like we do in our country, or Australia has in its country. The other civilized countries, I would say, have to protect their citizens and to have fair, work labor laws and stuff. And I mean, if you're an American, you may sometimes you may have them work days where you don't feel like it's fair for you either. But we ain't going through what them kids are going through over there, man. And I brought up the cell phones earlier because I know somebody's going to say, well, what you're recording this on and that's true. But I'm gonna have this phone for 3 years. I'm not a phone collector. I'm only gonna have it for as long as I have. I'll have it until it starts giving me problems. So that's how I am. I kept I kept an iPhone 4 until the iPhone 10 come out. I think I don't go through phones that much, man. I'm not real hard on them, and they tend to last me a while. So unless it quits working, I won't be in the market for another phone. But if I'm getting 10 knives in every week, y'all, I can't. Then what I'm doing is affecting the world, and it's affecting the people that mine and refine the raw materials that it takes to make our knives that we like. And we can't do anything about it. We can't fly to China. We can't, fly to Russia, demand them to set them slaves free. We can't go down to the Congo. They will kill you. Like there's nothing we can do about it. But the only thing that I say we can do about it is make educated decisions when we're buying our pocket knives. In front of me right now, I have got 12 knives, and that's nowhere near the amount that I own, y'all. That's just what I have in front of me. If I was to carry them all equally so I could keep them in rotation, I would carry one for a month, and then I would move on to something else. I have had 14C28 last for a month. If we want to talk about all the knives we have, maybe it's closer to 50. Then what's that? one a week, one knife a week, maybe an 8-day average at 365 days. There ain't a steel in this house that won't last a week. If your goal is to have as few of knives as possible and the greatest edge retention that you can possibly buy, kudos to you. I'm proud of you. I also look up to you, you know, because if your goal is only to have 2 or 3 knives and you want them in Maximate or Rec 76 or whatever, you know, then or 110 or 125, that's none of my business. It's none of my business if you want to have 100 of them. I just want to put this video out, you know, to ask anybody that would like to get on board. That there might be a small group of us that make conscious decisions, conscious, educated decisions when we go to purchase a knife, and how important that edge retention really truly is. If I dole up all 52 of my knives once a year by carrying them a week at a time, then you know what is that? You know, you're like it's you know, I can't express. I'm going to talk to Scab because I really like the way he starts his videos with his passions. You know, 22 a day. If you're an addict, never quitting. He gets the point across real quick, and he moves on. You know, and I can feel the passion. You know, when he talks about what he talks about with the veteran suicides and such, and the addictions and respecting the police. I can feel. There's a word for it, and I can't think of it. Conviction. Is that it? That don't sound right either. Anyway, I can feel. I can feel, you know, that those topics are close to him. They're near and dear, and I can respect that, and I can get on board with him, you know, to help that awareness. He does it in a way that I wanna do things to help. But this is something that means something to me personally. I don't get down. If the way I see it is, if somebody that's, you know, an adult makes a conscious decision to be a prostitute or drug dealer or whatever, man, if they're making the conscious decision on their own behalf to live a life of danger, then that's not any of my business. The human trafficking. I definitely support the TAD or the Truck Drivers Against Human Trafficking. I can't remember TAT. Yeah, TAT. Okay. Yeah, I support that. Anyway, you know, like when it comes to knives and it comes to controversial minerals and materials and stuff like that make them, you know, it's about 9%. You know, of like the third biggest entity that cobalt's used for, vanadium's used for, molybdenum's used for, chromium's used for, and stuff is tooling and knives. You know, and you don't see a lot of hammers and S35N, so I'm, you know, or Maximate and stuff like that. So I'm gonna assume that most of this is gonna be high quality pocket knives that we buy, and there's nothing wrong with high quality pocket knives, but that's my challenge to myself: is it possible to buy less shit? You know, When I make a purchase of a knife, I'm never going to stop loving knives. I've never stopped loving knives. I've loved them since I was a kid. But do I have to have everything that I have? And something else, man. If you really want something, this I when I was talking to Shane Gables the other day, he was talking about buying a Hinder. He said he got off the secondhand market and he was cool with that because he didn't have to support. He didn't have to put any extra money in Hinder's pocket, and that's a really proverbial concept because once the knife is already bought and it's on the secondhand market, it's decent to purchase that knife. So for me, when it comes time to purchase something, if I want something in Maximate, and I want something in Maximate. I want something in a lot of these steels that I've never dealt with. I'm going to at least try to buy it on the secondhand market from now on, instead of buying it out of new stock that's going to demand a refill at a retailer. At least if it's used, there's that money's already been that refill's already happened. So the time for it's already taken place. But when you're talking about like S125VN being 12.5% cobalt, how many knife blanks do you think it takes to make up a metric ton? What is it, 2,000 pounds of S125V? And how many knives will that make? I know an individual that loves S110V so much that he owns like 120 knives just in that steel alone, and that was really the gut wrench. I was like, that's a lot of with that steel being 10%. The weight of whatever the weight of that blade is, 10% of that weight is or 11% of the weight is going to be cobalt, right? That's not the only mineral in there that causes slavery. That's produced with slavery, but it's the number one contributor to. Right now, it's the most controversial mineral. So if you got 110 blades, and listen, like the blank. If they're making knives with stock removal CNC machinery, I ain't got a problem with that. I would guarantee that 100% of my knives are made by stock removal, and they're not forged. 100% guarantee it. But if it's stock removal, then that was a bigger blank at one point. Like the rest of it, where's that metal at? Did it get melted down, made into more blanks, or did it get scrapped? I don't know because I don't make knives. But it's the original weight of the blank that we really have to take into consideration when we're considering the weight of the cobalt and its entity to produce the knife. Is you're going to have a lot of scrap, and I don't know what they do with that scrap. I hope I would hope that they would, if there's a way to melt it down and make more bars. But I don't know. I know you can do that stuff with steel, like ingot steel. I don't know if you can do that with powder steels and stuff. I'm not that educated on the matter. But I want you to know that I'm in no form or fashion trying to tell you guys, that you need to be buying a specific kind of way. But I will ask you to at least give it some sort of consideration. When you purchase a knife, I'm going to anyway. Because it's eating at me. The amount of knives that I have coming in, and most of them are not high quality steels. I like this is the only knife that I've gotten. Well, the two off grids are 154 cm. And I definitely know that 154 CM actually has some stuff. So it's got some foreign components that revolve around slavery as well. I mean, anything with iron in it does. Like so. That's one of the main components. Chromium and stuff like that. So, but like, we can at least try to make an effort to make a conscious decision to buy less things. You know what I'm excited about? I'm excited about this Code 4. I'm excited about getting your Formax Scout in. I gotta be honest, man. Like, I like the way these knives feel, these off-grid knives feel. But if they got stolen today, I wouldn't replace them. And I just got them. Like I'm, they don't, they don't have any sentimental value. I'm not attached to them, stuff like that. Like, I mean, all that might change if I carry it for a little while and it makes me feel a certain way when I'm carrying it. But or whatever. If I like the way it rides in the pocket, if I like the way I use it, whatever. Then all that stuff is subject to change. But as of right now, I wouldn't replace them if they got stolen. I don't care about most of the stuff that I'm buying. I'm just buying. And so like that's where I've got to change. Is I've got to start putting more investment into the thought process of what's what kind of orders are going in. How much do I really feel like this is going to make a difference? And I'm not talking about the stuff that we're going to be giving away and stuff like that. That's part of having the channel. Yeah, but I'm even going to try to incorporate that into the decision making processes of prizes and stuff too. But I know that we're limited because there's very little we can do about it. The only thing we can do about it, we got two options. We could bitch at Crucible until Crucible decides, hey man, it'd be kind of like bitching at a company about their heat treat. We've seen companies like totally change. We've seen Medford be like, I can take this Magna Cut up to 62. That's as high as I'm gonna go. But he was willing to do that. Like he was, what was he treating at 59? Because of our voices, because of our unhappiness about the matter, he was willing, and we can get passionate about a heat treat over a knife that we're probably not going to carry no more than a week, a year. I think it's about time that I, at least, start following my gut on this child abuse stuff, because I'm not feeling it, man. Personally, I don't feel like it's worth it. There's not a knife in here that I wouldn't throw in a trash can if it meant putting a kid in a better situation. And it ain't gotta be my kid. It could be any kid. It could be your kid. It could be any kid in China. It could be any kid. And look, man, our knife is not gonna make a big difference. Not one knife. But if you're like me and you got way too many knives, just like, do some soul searching, man, and see if there's a sacrifice you're willing to make, moving forward. You're getting 4 or 5 knives in a week. Could you live with one? Like, one, even if it's like a one, like, what was you getting, 4 or 5 knives in a month? Could you live with one? Can you cut back? Because even one knife a month, that'll build up a collection pretty fast over the course of a few years. So space it out, get a new knife for your collection every 3 or 4 months, and maybe once a quarter, and actually put some thought into it, and be like, and spend some time with a knife when you get it, and see if it's your jam. Like, I've got so many knives that I bought that I thought I'd love that I haven't even been able to spend any time with them, because there's too much stuff to choose from. So I always grab the same things over and over again, because I know I like them. I don't want to take a chance on anything else. I'm sure this video is long enough. I can't even see the timer. So without stretching out any further, if you stuck through it, thank you. Like I said, don't take this as a personal attack. I'm guilty. I'm guilty as charged. I'm not here to crucify anybody. This is more about myself. So not here to make you feel bad about yourself or anything like that. Um, I'm just I'm gonna consciously start making decisions on my collection that are gonna that I'm gonna feel better about. You know, like if I do buy a 110 or 125, I'm gonna look used. If I buy something that I know has got a bunch of cobalt in it, I'm gonna be looking on the used market because, like I said, you know, like that's just somebody had it, they want to flip it, they want to make some profit off of it, or they didn't like it as much as they thought they were, or they can't sharpen it. You know, there's a reason, you know, why people get rid of the stuff they get rid of, and only they know that. But it doesn't matter what the reason is, as long as the knife is legit and it's you know it's in a shape that the buyer can deal with. Then that's money already spent. That's not a repurchase or a reorder. Sprint runs, you know, like whatever. Listen, I'm done. Y'all are great. Thanks for sticking around. We'll do some unboxings of some of this stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and let you know right now. I love this thing. It's a little thin on profile, but it still fits really good in hand. I like the way it fits. The aluminum frame. It's the first time I've had one of those. I don't even know if I knew this was an aluminum frame when I bought it. I guess I figured it was probably going to be FRN or that Grivex stuff that they normally use on everything else. I think I got this for like $91. So I can't remember. But anyway, I like it, you know, and I really can't wait to do a video on that. But we'll do videos on all the rest of this stuff except for the stuff that you've already seen. And if we don't see you again, we will see you when we go live for the giveaways. Thanks for sticking around. God bless you.